because at 16 you're still a teenager, you know what I mean? So that's a major issue too. How does she handle being a mother? Then we got to discuss about the fact that there was the issue between the father and the mother. If they were just having sex, what kind of relationship did they have? Was it one that was cordial? Was it one that was loving, caring? Was it one that where he showed affection to her? What was the kind of relationship like? Because that's also going to affect how she sees relationships happen between men and women, and how she believes she has to be treated in a relationship. Right? That's another thing. Then the other aspect is this. Then she mentioned something really powerful. She said then there was paternal issues too, because they wasn't sure whether it was his kid or not, the father's kid. That's also another issue. So that would have been plaguing the relationship. I wonder how that would have affected the mother and the father relationship while she was in the womb, right? Because we also have to understand as well that things happen to children in the womb. Right, so the emotions, the feelings, the interactions that mother is having with the child in the womb. Listen, man, them who are listening to this, any men who have got this, listen, be very careful. In the womb is a very, very important time. You may think that child is just in the womb and it don't mean nothing, but your behaviors, how that mother feels, she's connected to the baby. There's a cord connecting the mother and the child. So whatever you think you're getting away with, you're not going to get away with, because whatever you're treating the mother like, however she's going to feel, is going to start inducing into that baby. Her feelings, her thoughts, her emotions are going to seep into that child. So the child can sometimes even come out of the womb with unconscious thoughts, behaviors, feelings. Now, maybe that's not very scientific, but you can fight me on that one, right? And so that's also very important as well in terms of how she came out as well, looking at a particular time. And I say this because biblically, it's interesting how when even in the Bible, when a child, for instance, in Genesis, you see that when the mother gives birth, she'll name the child according to how she felt, right? This is Jacob and his wives, Rachel and Leah. And at times, Leah will say, this is my joy. Because I birthed him in pain, I named him this, Jabez. That's later on in the Bible. But so if you go through the names in the Bible and you read it in AMP version, by the way, as well, like you'll see that the mother, when she births a child, she'll name it and name it something. You know what I mean? So you have to be very, very careful what you are going to be doing and saying in these moments, and how you're going to treat a woman while she's pregnant with your child. That does not mean you can't argue. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there has to be a way we're going to operate, because that child is going to feel everything. You get what I'm saying to you? Yeah? Okay, cool. So furthermore from that, then after, she then comes out and says, wait, hold on a minute. The relationship I even had with my father, I wish he was more emotionally present. I wish he was more involved in my life in the way that I needed to. So that then breeds this rejection, and then breeds this abandonment feeling. Even though he's still physically there, he's emotionally unpresent. So then now you're really looking at her life and her situation, coming into a family of dysfunction, and how she feels is alienated. Right? A father who should cover her and emotionally respond to her and emotionally care for her isn't doing so. So she's actually unprotected and uncovered in this particular way. So now the feelings of the ability to feel safe is not happening. This is what creates this. This is what, I don't know if I can go there because it's going to be deep, Let me be very careful how I say this. But these situations, right, where the father doesn't cover emotionally. I'm going to give you a biblical example. King David in the Bible, right, had many wives. Well, I didn't have many, but he had a few wives or whatever, right? And then had children, different children, right? Now, one of his children is called Tamar. Okay, all right. Tamar in the Bible, okay. I'm looking from a psychological point of view. David had his own daddy issues. Then, out of not healing from those daddy issues, has different women, right? Has different women who are now vying for the throne for their next child. But one of these children he has is Tamar. Then he has another child called Amnon, who's a half brother of Tamar. Amnon, okay, in his deep-seated hurt for whatever reason, I'm probably guessing because of the way that David probably treated his mom and the way that they are considered in the family, he has whatever issue he has. Then he tricks Tamar, his half sister, to come into his chambers, and he grapes his sister, because YouTube doesn't like that, right? Grapes his half sister. Then when he grapes her, after he finishes it, he hates her. Now, this story is really interesting because from a psychological point of view, when you deep it, there's another half brother to Amnon called Absalom, who's a full brother, I think. Isn't it a full brother of Tamar? Who sees what has been done, what has been done to his sister. Now, King David sees what his son has done to the daughter, but doesn't do anything about it. He becomes neutral, He becomes neut. And so Absalom, the son, then goes after Amnon and kills him. Now, why am I bringing this story up? Because when fathers don't cover, when fathers don't emotionally cover, when they are not present, they leave room for other influences to come in and begin to program those children, right? So when you don't do your job as a father figure, and you make sure you guard the door, the Bible says that, how can one take over a house unless they arrest the strong man? The strong man is you as a father, right? You as a father, if you don't do your job emotionally covering your children, meaning you're emotionally present, you're attuned, you're receiving and you're giving, and you're listening to your children, what you may, and look, I'm not saying that parents haven't gone through tough things. Some parents have gone through hardships. Some parents are working 2-3 jobs to make things happen. I get it. I'm not trying to shade them. I'm saying the psychological effects, though, this is real. When you don't do that, you leave the door open. Okay? All right? You leave the door open. Very true, Dahlia. Very, very true about that story. Very, very true. Right? Very, very true. You leave the door open. Right? Now, what she's described here is what the door has been left open. By the father not engaging with the daughter, he has simultaneously sentenced her to death emotionally, because what he's saying is that's not important. That's not important. And yet, that's going to be the very thing that she's going to yearn for, to want to go and receive outside of the four walls of her home. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Right? So now we've got a situation where the father has poorly done a job, and as I said, we don't know about the mother because she never discussed about the mother, so we can only talk about the father. Now she's yearning for emotional reciprocity. She's yearning for emotional coverage. She's yearning for somebody to emotionally give and inject into her life, because she hasn't really had that from the father figure. Yeah, he might have provided, maybe paid some bills, maybe he did this and that, but he's left her open. Now her nature too also is going to play a part in this, because we see something similar Married at First Sight with Kirsten, where her dad was a great at financial, but it don't really sound like he was there emotionally because the way she is. But anyway, that's another story. So depending on the nature of the child as well, how they respond to the adversity of not having that emotional care too. Some children are fight, some children are flight, some children are freeze, some children are flop, some people are befriend. However they handle these type of situations. Okay.